Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk. Back in the video today, we're going to be previewing the Houston Texans versus Kansas City Chiefs matchup for tomorrow at 12 o'clock as the Texans face off against the Kansas City Chiefs for the second time since they basically ended our, I wouldn't say franchise, but they ended our run, and we had that very famous 24-0 lead that the Chiefs would come back. And the Chiefs and Texans faced it off the next year, the opening night of the season. Chiefs would be able to take out the Texans. I think they beat us by like 13 or something, maybe a little less. I can't remember, maybe 11, whatever it was. And now the Texans are a way different team than they were the last time these two matched up. I mean, the last time these two teams matched up, all the Texans lost was DeAndre Hopkins. Now Watt is gone, Watson is gone, Fuller is gone, and this whole organization has took a whole flip. And yeah, so also not only that, but Justin Reed is returning to Houston tomorrow, the former Houston Texan. I'm really excited to see how the crowd treats him tomorrow. I love Justin Reed. I thought he was a tremendous player, and I really didn't blame him for leaving here. I mean, no one wants to lose, and I think he knew that we'd be losing for a little bit, and why not sign with the Chiefs, one of the best teams in the league. So yeah, I love Justin Reed, and wish him the best. So I think the Chiefs have a couple other former Texans. They had Lonnie Johnson, but they cut him. I think there might be maybe one or two other names on the Chiefs roster that were former Texans. But let's get into this game tomorrow. As the Texans, they're filled with injuries again. Dameon Pierce has been put on IR, and he's out for the season now. And then for the third straight game in a row. Second straight game in a row. Our two best wide receivers, Nico Collins and Brandon Cooks, are out. And so our three best offensive players are out. Derek Stingley, our best defensive player, is out. Jonathan Grenard remains out. So the Texans' injuries are just awful. And then this just can't get better. As live on a video, I get this alert right here. If you see it, it says Kadarius Toney set return. So it says that Toney expected to play Sunday versus Texans. And then also McCole Hartman is expected to return off IR. He's expected to return next week against the Seahawks. My bad. So they get Kadarius Toney back. That was live during this video. So that's going to be another problem for the Texans defense. So yeah, the Texans are without a lot of players tomorrow, and yeah, what do the Texans have to do in this one? I mean, I know I said this last week against the Cowboys when I did this, and I said, you know what, the Texans, there's no point for tomorrow. They're going to get their butts kicked. And the Texans played one of their best games of the season, and they almost got the upset of the year, and the Texans just fell short. This is way different. Now you're without your best running back and a running back who's got you over 1,000 yards this season, receiving and rushing, and 5 touchdowns as a rookie. And you're without him now, who played most of the game on Sunday. And, the main reason why we were so close in that Cowboys game is because we had a scheme that the Cowboys didn't know what we were going to do, was with using Jeff Driscoll as an option. He would run it a lot as a QB. He'd hand it off to Pierce. The Cowboys were not expecting that. The Texans succeeded really well with that. And, the Chiefs, they probably found out about all this, and so they probably have a plan to stop the Texans. I kind of say it as, I kind of say this is the Jeff Driscoll is the Texans Taysom Hill. Like for the Saints, Taysom Hill does everything for the Saints. He can rush, he can throw, he can catch. We didn't really see Jeff Driscoll catch any have any receptions. I would love to see maybe can we see Jeff Driscoll have the ball thrown to him maybe once tomorrow. That'd be cool. Maybe start to see a Taysom Hill start to be developed. I would honestly, I would love that because I think that'd be a great weapon for the Texans. Because if Jeff Driscoll becomes like a Taysom Hill, we all know how he's been for the Saints offense this year. He's been a big part of their offense. I know the Saints have not been good at all, but if the Texans can maybe develop Jeff Driscoll into a Taysom Hill type player, if he can train in this offseason, that could be scary for the Texans offense. It's like a second option, You don't when teams face against the Saints, they never know what's going to happen the next play, So but moving on, the Chiefs, they probably figured it out. They probably know what's going to happen. The Cowboys, they were not expecting that with Jeff Driscoll at all last week. I don't think anybody was. That's not something the Texans kept that secret all week that they were going to do that until Jeff Driscoll was activated to the 53 man roster. Like a day before the game, and they ruled Kyle Allen out, so it looks like Jeff Driscoll is going to be the backup quarterback, and instead he had a very great game. So what do the Texans need to do tomorrow? First, Rex Burkhead needs to have a good game. That's one thing, with the absence of Dameon Pierce, the run game is like 50% of our offense, and Rex Burkhead and DeRay need to be very, very good. DeRay has not been that good when it comes to running the season. Neither is Burkhead, but Burkhead has not ran the ball as much as DeRay. And the Texans really need to see a good game from Burkhead, like the kind of game Burkhead had against the Chargers last year, where he just went off. Also, Mills needs with no Nico Collins and no Brandon Cooks. We need to see Mills do something he did last week. He threw the ball a lot to guys like Jordan Akins, Chris Moore, and Amari Rodgers. Davis Mills needs to keep finding the ball, finding the way to Amari Rodgers and Chris Moore. That is a key to the game. Chris Moore has a good game. Texans should be driving. Jordan Akins as well is a big key to the Texans offense with no Nico Collins or no Brandon Cooks. Texans need to bring pressure to Mahomes. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and he's also a big scrambler. He might go running. So Texans need to keep pressure and keep their eyes on him. Linebackers need to keep eyes on Mahomes, and kind of like a spy. Also need to guard Kelsey really good. And also control the flags, of course. Like when I talk about the Rockets, when I talk about those key games, keep the turnovers down. That's what I always say with the Rockets: keep the turnovers down, keep the flags down. Try to not get as much as false starts or holdings, because that's one of the things that hurts the Texans' offense so much. And those kind of things, I don't even know what I would do if the Texans won tomorrow. I just doubt it. But if you do those type of things that I said, the offense should have maybe a decent kind of day, nothing too special. But the defense is not going to be able to handle Patrick Mahomes. And I know I said last week the Texans' defense would not be able to handle the Cowboys, which actually the Texans really did not handle the Cowboys well. Their defense, we had 2 picks, and those were 2 mistakes by Dak Prescott. But ultimately, the Cowboys were able to score 27 points on us. And Mahomes is way different. He has a lot of weapons. He has Travis Kelce, and I think is a top 3 tight end in history. Obviously, you got Gronk and you got Tony Gonzalez. Actually, I say Kelce is probably like top 5 in my opinion when it comes to tight ends of all time. So To get to my final prediction, I think the Texans end up losing this one 34-20. I think it's going to be a tough one. I think Burkhead has a good game. I think Mills finds the guys like Jordan Akins, Chris Moore, and Amari Rodgers. I think the Texans continue to do a little bit of that Jeff Driscoll game with the two quarterback system, but I don't think it works that much as it did last week. We'll see what happens with all that stuff. That's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoy. Give me your predictions for tomorrow for the Texans game, and peace out. Go Texans.